Welcome back. Well, as I imagine you can tell from the fact that we're in here on the bed with the boxes, we have more goodies from Colleen today. So, 2 boxes, and we're going to open them up and see what we've got in here when we come back. But first, a word about the bad kitty. The bad kitty is not in here with us today. He's on my naughty list. He brought me a bunny for breakfast this morning. I thought he was getting past that. He's been bringing them home live recently so that he can keep them as pets. But it hasn't been working out for him, so he brought one home as breakfast. So definitely on my bad list today. Anyway, we will get to the unboxings when we come back. All right, quite a lot of things here. So let's start with this large piece so that I can scoot this out of the way. This is a German bowl. You want to see how big it is? Here we go. And I have very large hands, so I am estimating this is at least 10 inches across. Beautiful, lovely lusterware finish. Beautifully hand-painted. I'm not sure what this bowl would have been used for. Ordinarily, seeing a bowl this size, I would be inclined to say it would have been paired off with a pitcher as a wash bowl because it's just so very big. But wonderful, wonderful piece. So let me set that aside. And then we'll take a look at some of these. This bowl. Now, I'm very familiar with this. This is a part of a set. It's from the Yamamatsu company in Japan. Export pieces. And see this little floral design? The way they came in the set, there were 12 of them, and each one of them had a different floral pattern. So this would have been like, the birth flower for the month of February or something like that. I think it is. I think those are violets. Anyway, a whole set. They were all very similar. It was a coordinated set. It was intended for them to all come together, but they were all different. Lovely lusterware, very, very nice. And you can find these. I've actually found complete sets of these at thrift stores. And by the way, if you ever do come across that, good bargain. So grab them up. This is a hand-painted Bavarian plate. Probably a bread and butter plate. I love the colors. It's very soft peach with a bit of green and, of course, all the gilding. Very nice. This is a Japan piece, and this was designed to be hung on the wall. Let me see if I can find here we go. Can you see the little hole there? So they were wall art pieces like this. Very interesting. Japan pieces of this sort came in to department stores right down to 5 and dimes. You could get pieces like this for a few pennies, and I mean that literally, under $1. Get a nice piece of hand-painted art for your wall, and the ones that came into the more exclusive department stores would have been a little pricier, but not too much. And they were still really, really affordable pieces. All right, I'm going to organize this a little, and then I'll come back and show you the rest of this. Well, I am redoing a section of that video because it just didn't come out. So, we're a little out of sequence and we have the sleeping cat in here with us. Now, because this is out of sequence, Audie has already come in. He's already played with the porcelain. He's already nuzzled the boxes. He's already gotten his cuddle. His little tail is going over there. So, hopefully he'll be good and quiet and let me do what I need to do. All right. These are the items that came out of the box, our sort of second half of the box. So, let me start with this. This is a very pretty piece. It is unmarked. I believe it is Japanese. I say that for a couple of reasons. First of all, we have a very Japanese design, but also I've seen a number of pieces like this leaf with the serrated edges and the little cutout handle here. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is a Japanese piece. Clearly what we have is a very nice little candy dish, and the fact that it's unmarked shouldn't be a deterrent at all. This piece, this is German porcelain, very pretty. I think these are hydrangeas, but I never know. I do well enough with plants when they're actually growing on the bush or the vine or the whatever. But when they're painted on a plate, your guess is as good as mine. Very nice piece, a nice sort of soft, matte finish. And that's something that you see a lot of in older porcelain from a specific period, around 1880 through around 1920. This sort of soft, matte finish was quite popular. I would not use that to date a piece, just a guideline. Usually when you see it, it does mean it's an older piece, but again, as I say, it's just a guideline because the matte finish was used both before 1880, after 1920. It was just very popular in that particular period. So, sweet little piece. This one is also unmarked. Looks like we have little violets here. It's a 3-compartment candy dish with a nice little handle, a lot of gilding. This is not an exceptionally old piece. I would guess this piece came from the early portion of the mid-century, in other words, maybe the 1940s. Nice, interesting piece. Whoa! Nice, interesting piece that we very nearly broke. But no marking, and the point of origin is, frankly, anybody's guess, but it is a good piece. And it's a piece that just sort of screams sort of mid-century American traditional. Now let's take a look at this. This is the other piece I almost just broke. This is a little Japan flower frog. You would pop your little flower stems into these holes, put this down like this in a shallow bowl of water, and your little flowers will cluster around the bird. People don't do that anymore, and more's the pity, because these little flower frogs are extremely sweet. It allows you to use garden flowers that otherwise might not be suitable for a vase, and it gives a little bit of visual interest. So, as I say, more's the pity. I'd like to see something like that used more often. Salt and pepper shakers. Here we go. Art Deco, we can tell from that wonderful little Art Deco design. And they're in a little caddy, lusterware. Here, let me show you. They would have had corks. And please note, the holes in the bottom of these shakers are different sizes. Now, that doesn't present a problem for me because I sell a lot of these and I always replace the old corks with new ones. Consequently, I keep a huge stash of corks in all kinds of sizes. But for the average person, going out, getting little salt and pepper shakers like this, and having to go out and buy not just one size of cork, but two sizes, well, that can definitely outweigh any savings you might have gotten on the salt and pepper shakers. So always be mindful of that when you're shopping for things like this. Sometimes there are hidden costs. Now let's take a look at this little guy. The last set of boxes we opened, I showed you a little incense burner, a Chinese scholar. It had been made in Japan, and this too is a Chinese guy. This one is a farmer, and this is a piece made in Japan. Now, let me show you these little things. He has two little buckets. I'm only going to put one on. Each little bucket hangs off this pole he's carrying on his shoulders, and he's just a little figurine, just an interesting little something that you would display. Very cute little piece. Here's his other bucket. Cute little piece. Very typical of the Japanese imports. These were inexpensive dime store pieces. They were literally purchased for pennies. You know, they were less than $1. You go out, you get them. Hey, there you go. But given how little they cost and how pretty they are, I think they were a real bargain. Now, this little guy is just a sweet little Chinese style vase. Now, I mean, it's in my hand. You can see how tiny it is. It's beautiful. It's Chinese style, made in Japan. Lovely gilding on the edges. Very, very sweet little tiny piece. I don't think I would use something like this for flowers. I would probably use something like this for toothpicks, or bring it into the bathroom and use it to hold makeup brushes or tweezers or whatever. But yeah, in terms of a flower vase, wouldn't hold much. Nevertheless, a very pretty piece. Now, let me show you this, because this is the star of the show. This is a beautiful vase. I believe it is Japanese. It's not marked. We have some wonderful floral designs on the front and the back panel. The side panels, now if I just looked at the side panels to take a guess on where this came from, I would be more likely to guess China, because the greens and reds like this were not as heavily used in Japan. But I do believe this is Japanese. It's beautiful. So many colors here. Blue, yellow, pink, green, red, all against this white background, and all of this gilding. This is absolutely wonderful. And we're looking at about an 8 or 9 inch vase, and I think this would make a terrific lamp. Now keep in mind, it's very beautiful as a vase. I think it would make a great vase, but whenever I see something like this, I am always tempted to lampify it, mostly because a lamp sits in a room day in, day out, gets used, Even when it doesn't get used, it gets admired. And for most people, a vase is something they pull out of a cabinet when they get flowers. Consequently, I am always inclined to think that a lamp is more usable, and a piece like this, becoming a lamp, always seems to me that it makes better use of the piece. It allows you to enjoy it more. So I don't know. I gotta think about that one. But this is a genuine beauty. All right, so we are going to check out the next box and we will get back. Well, the other box had some nice little saucers in it. So let's start with these. Spode, bone china from England. And we have 4. And these are not saucers. These are bread and butter plates. They're smaller than salad plates. And whereas the saucer has the little indentation for the cup. And notice, the size difference really isn't that serious. But one is a saucer, one is a bread and butter plate. These are Nortaki. And this would have been part of a very large dinner set. By the way, the jingling you hear is the bad cat is here. Yeah, all right, here we go. The bad cat, as you can see, has made an appearance. And that, by the way, is why I do this on the bed, because the cat will get into this. And the idea of the cat playing in dishes, oh, he could break the dishes, but more importantly, he could actually hurt himself. So I'm usually a little happier when he's playing with dishes and boxes if he's doing it in a nice, safe spot. So yes, you're here. I haven't forgiven you for the bunny, but I do love you. Now, these are also bread and butter plates. These are Japan imports. We've got a little chip on this one. They're very pretty little pieces. Again, we have 4. And these, as I mentioned, are Noritake, so they are Japan. Now, I brought another piece. This didn't come from the box, but I do believe, actually, this came from one of Colleen's other boxes. This is Imari. Traditional Japanese design. Imari is very collectible. These are really nice plates, but the reason I brought the Imari plate out is so that you can see. The first thought I had when I saw the Spode bread and butter plates is they would combine very nicely with Imari for a tidbit tray. Now, I'm not sure I would use it on this particular plate, but I did want you to have a chance to see the designs, the color combination, very sympathetic. I think with the right Imari plate, these are going to look terrific, and they are probably going to make terrific tidbit trays. So that is what I have for you today, and of course, Audie. And this is his bed, by the way. This is where he sleeps. So he's extremely comfortable being in here. All right. Snuggles for you. All right. There we go. Get your face right in the camera so they can see you. Let everybody know what a bad bunny killing cat looks like. All right. That is what I have for you. Let me just reach over here around a cat. I think far and away the star of today's show is that vase. And I was thinking about this. Now, Colleen has sent pictures of her home, particularly when it's decorated for Halloween, from time to time. And her home is more, well, definitely more contemporary in terms of the furnishings than mine. But I thought one of these days I am going to take one of the pieces that she has sent me, and I'm going to turn it into something and send it back to her. And I think it might well be this piece. This is going to make a gorgeous lamp, and I'm sure she'll find a spot for it. And if she doesn't find a spot for it, she has grown children who are one day in the not too distant future going to go off and set up their own households. And who knows, maybe they will have a spot for it. So I think that is what's going to become of this beautiful piece. I think I'm just going to sort of repurpose it and send it back to its original home. Audie, yeah, all right, yes. Everybody knows you're here, baby. All right, so I have some stuff to get off the bed and a cat to deal with, as you can see. So that is what I have for you today. We are going to take a look at a slideshow on our way out. Audie has curled up. He's going to sleep here. It's just he's done with us for now. We're going to watch a slideshow. Have a terrific day. For those of you who join me for the Just Chattin' series, that will be on this evening. And for those of you who don't, well, we love you anyway, not a big deal. So just come on back next weekend and maybe we'll get started on our lamp project. All right, I will see you all later.